All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. You know what time it is? This week in sports, episode whatever it is, episode 2 of recording it through video. And it's been a crazy day in sports. Free agency has been going on in NHL. There's news in Blue Jays land. Charlie Montoya is out. We'll get to all of that. But one thing I wanted to bring up before anything is the irony of where we're filming right now. Filming in the crib on this beautiful, magnificent couch with this beautiful, magnificent view. I know it's not Remax Field. It's almost better. Just kidding. No, but it's a nice day. It's a beautiful summer's day. It's not 35 degrees like it was the other day. But the irony of us doing this on the couch in this manner is when we first started this a year ago, we recorded just the audio, obviously, but we recorded on this couch doing what we are doing now, holding the mics and all that. And I feel like it's so ironic that I have to bring it up because it's been a year now, and now we're moving on to video. Now we're making moves to do some more production with this podcast, and I have to give that up to my producer Caleb right there, my brother. Appreciate that. And without further ado, though, we got to talk some Evander Kane. What a deal. If you haven't heard, get out from under your rock. Why are you listening to a sports podcast? If you don't know, Evander Kane re-signs with the Edmonton Oilers. 4 years. What is it? $5.125 million a year. And, oh my goodness, what a steal of a deal. The news came late last night, in the middle of the night. He dropped on his Twitter that he was going to be signing with the Oilers after the Oilers gave him permission to talk to other teams, which I think is solid. And it is a testament to how classy the Edmonton organization is, the Oilers. They give Evander Kane the option to speak to other teams, but obviously he wants to be an Oiler. In his comments, he stated that he thinks he's part of a championship team, and this is the championship squad. And we also signed a goalie. Finally, we got a goalie this year. But before we get to Jack Campbell signing, I just want to bring up what Evander Kane stated in his Twitter release or whatever it was last night. He says, "I want to win, and I believe after this signing, the signing of this deal, we will be able to add the right pieces along with myself to accomplish that goal, and that goal is a championship." That's what Evander Kane said. And sure enough, later in the day, news came down that we were in the talks with Jack Campbell, the Toronto Maple Leafs goalie. Sure enough, we ended up signing him. 5 years, $5 million a year. So we finally have a goalie. It's been too long since Rolison was our last legitimate, I think, starting goaltender. But now we have Jack Campbell. He's proven. He had an outstanding couple years or however long with the Leafs. He brought him to the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. And I love the fact that we're taking a lot of these Leafs players and giving them a chance to win and actually winning with them. Hyman, Campbell now, and there was another guy we got from the Leafs that it's escaping me right now, but everyone knows that if you play with the Leafs, you're not getting it past the first round. No, it's a fact. It's a fact. You're not getting past the first round, and I don't know if they'll ever win a championship, like in our lifetime, right? It's one of the longest streaks in all of sports. Longest droughts, I should say, in all of sports. So Jack Campbell is coming to a team that went to the Western Conference Final, came down to the Final Four, and if I wasn't already tremendously excited for this upcoming season, oh my God, I am now. I mean, you've seen me when the news first came down this morning. I was like ecstatic. I was so happy. I'm like, yes,
all morning.
Yes, we have a goalie. We finally have a goalie. And then to top it off, I was already ecstatic with the Kane signing last night. I'm like, oh, what a steal of a deal. What a steal of a deal. We gave him We gave Kane like 5.1. He could have got 6, maybe 7 on the open market, but he understands that this is the Oilers' time. This is a championship caliber team. We're right there. We came down to the Final Four, and he understands that. And now we add Jack Campbell, who's a legitimate starting goalie. So we add that to the mix. Oh my goodness. I am stoked for the upcoming season. It's a couple months away, but I cannot wait. Even before these things transpired, I mean, you heard it on the podcast in previous episodes that I wasn't as disappointed in us losing out in the playoffs, like I have in the past years. I'm the most optimistic. I was the most optimistic out of any year, and then to add this on top of it, these free agent signings. Oh my goodness, it just adds to my excitement for next year. And on top of that, we sign Brett Kulak to a 4-year, $11 million contract to solidify some of our defensive needs, because Duncan Keith, the legend that he is, the future Hall of Famer that he is, he announced his retirement as well in this past week in sports. So Keith is out. Congrats on a tremendous career. Give him some love, studio audience. That's to Duncan Keith. My dog's freaking hairs in my nose constantly. Freaking bitch. Keith, tremendous career. 3 Stanley Cups with the Chicago Blackhawks, not the Blackhawks. Blackhawks. Watch, their name will be the Blackhawks in the future, right? They'll be like, oh my God, these indigenous people that we consulted with that were super cool with it. We got to change it for them, right? It's like they did the Eskimos. Get out of here. Won 3 Stanley Cups with them. Won 2 gold medals with Team Canada in the Olympics. I guess was it 2 Norris Trophy? He's won 2 Norris trophies as the league's best defenseman, and just one of the best defensemen of our generation. So, congrats on a great career to Duncan Keith. And the way he hyped up Edmonton was really heartwarming. He obviously played in Chicago his whole career, and I'm sure they're crazy fan base. I mean, from what I can see on TV, they are. But nothing compares to Edmonton Oilers fans, especially in the playoffs. And the way he described it, he said, whenever I came on the ice in the playoffs during the Oilers run, he felt like a gladiator. Because, oh my God, I was there for one of those games. So thankful that I was. And I could only imagine being one of those players coming out to the carnage that is Rogers Place and the ruckusness and the chaoticness and just the pure hype. So with Keith leaving, we needed to fill that void. And I think Kulak is a big part of that because he's a steady defenseman. Everyone's saying that he's probably going to be paired up with Bouchard, Evan Bouchard, who's obviously the really young defenseman, got a crazy shot, more offensive minded, and Brett Kulak is more of a stay-at-home defenseman, which we need. But now, all of a sudden, all the talk has always been about our defense and our goaltending, and we need to add defensemen. Obviously, we needed a goalie for so long, but now that we have that goalie, the defense, there's so much less pressure on the defenseman now because we actually have a starting number 1 goaltender. And for the first time in I don't know how long. I mean, Cam Talbot was good for that 1 year. Mike Smith was good for that year and a half, right? But we didn't have a consistent goalie for year in and year out. I don't even know if we've ever even had that. Even Rolison was old when we got him, right? Before that was Tommy Salo. He was inconsistent, right? I mean, we got to go back to a time before I even remembered watching hockey that we had a consistent number 1 goaltender. Bill Ranford, something it's been a long time. So we signed we signed Jack Campbell to 5 years. So that solidifies our number one goaltending spot for at least 5 years. And he's only like 30 years old, so it's perfect timing for us to sign him to that. And with the signing of Kulak on the back end, I think our back end is going to be good. We could use maybe another defenseman, another depth D or something, but with Kane, I mean, we got a couple of steal of the deals. I think Kane was obviously he could have got way more on the open market, and Campbell, I think it's a fair price for him because Darcy Kemper, the Stanley Cup champion goaltender who hit the market, he signed for just a little bit more than what we got Campbell for. So he signed a deal at 26.25, and we signed Campbell at 25 over 5. So obviously, being a Stanley Cup champion, there's more pedigree to that. There's more street cred. So that's why maybe Darcy Kemper got a little bit more, but not too much more. From the Washington Capitals is who he signed with. But we have a goaltender that is almost that caliber of Kemper because, I mean, just as far as the money is concerned, we're paying Campbell just under what Kemper is getting from the Capitals. So I think we have a really good shot. I think this is going to be our year. You heard it here first on This Week in Sports. I've said it already, though, even before these signings. The next 3 years, we're going to win a cup. Now, next 2 years, we're winning a cup. Oh, no. Did I just say that? I don't know. That's crazy to say that. I've never even thought of that in my life. Like, maybe, like, as a kid, having, like, these illusions of just delusions of grandeur, I guess it would be the proper term.
Yep.
Yeah, and but you're just a kid. You don't get it fully. And now, going through all these years, year in and year out, watching this team, I think now this could be it. This is the window of a championship squad. Oh, my God.
It looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good. Oh, my goodness. I think that's all in the Oilers world from today. So far, I mean, there could be some other signings coming up, obviously, but those are the main points of the Oilers' day in free agency. Got some solid pieces solidified, so that's huge. Just going through the league, the rest of the National Hockey League. Evgeny Malkin said he wanted to test out the free agent market for the first time in his career. Obviously, playing with Crosby his whole career. He ended up re-signing with the Penguins, 4 years, $24.4 million.
Wow,
which is Well, I mean, $6 million a year. It's a pay cut, but he is getting older. But I mean, the 4-year deal that's going to bring him into his late 30s. So I don't know. Could that be it for the Pittsburgh Penguins? Johnny Gaudreau. We don't normally talk Calgary Flames, but the reason why we're talking Calgary Flames here because the Calgary Flames have nothing to do with it. Johnny Gaudreau is testing the free agent market, and as of the time we are recording this episode, he hasn't signed anywhere yet. I guess the Flames offered him 8 years, around $10 million a year. He declined, which is, I mean, nuts.
8 years, $10 million a year?
Yeah, that's more than Draisaitl's getting paid. And
what the heck?
I mean, a lot of people think that he deserves it. I mean, he was second in points last year behind McDavid. He was up there. But he hasn't been consistently doing it like McDavid. So I think maybe that was a flash in the pan, to be honest. I mean, obviously he's a tremendous, tremendous player, and he has like some of the craziest skill, but I don't think he's McDavid caliber. I don't think he's Draisaitl caliber. I think him turning down that much money for that long of a term, I don't know if he'll be able to get that kind of amount from another team. I don't know. I mean, He hasn't signed yet, and free agency has been going on all day. And I mean, I guess there's over 70 players that have been signed since it opened. Since free agency opened this morning, when we record this. Brett Burns got traded, which is kind of the other huge name in the NHL free agency market. He gets traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. There was some other players and conditional picks involved, and I guess San Jose is retaining a third of Burns' salary, but he's obviously one of the best defensemen in the league. He is getting up there, but he's been a Shark for as long as I can remember, if not his whole career. So him moving teams is a big deal. But we'll see what he can do. I mean, the fact that the Sharks retained a third of his salary, I think, just goes to show the Hurricanes' apprehension on his ability to play at the age that he is. But I mean, we'll see. He is one of the best. Going through the other news real quickly in free agency world. I mean, there was 70 players signed. I'm not going through it all, but players that have an Edmonton connection, I guess, is what you can call it. Former Oiler David Perron, we used to call him Piranha, signed with the Detroit Red Wings on a 2-year, $9.5 million deal. So he's still getting paid at $4.25. I think that works out to $4.75. So what that works out to be a year.
But he's got to live in Detroit.
Yeah, but you live in like the neighborhood that Eminem lives in. You'll be all right.
Yeah, and your money stretches a lot further in Detroit.
I think so. The Ottawa Senators have a new goalie in Cam Talbot, former Oiler. We spoke about him just a moment ago.
Wait, who?
Cam Talbot.
No, which team?
Oh, he's going to Ottawa.
Oh, okay.
From the Minnesota Wild in exchange for their goalie, Philip Gustafson, 1-for-1 trade. Those are always, they never seem fair. I feel like Gustafson's better than Talbot. But Talbot had a crazy year with us. He still has the record for most wins by a goalie in Oilers history.
Couldn't win for us, though.
Well, I mean, he brought us to the second round. Come on, that's nothing to slough at.
True.
I have respect for him. But
I like Talbot, actually.
Yeah, I like Talbot. But Mike Smith fucked Cam Talbot up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like manhandled him.
Yeah.
One of the best things. Some Leafs news that doesn't matter. Preds extend Philip Forsberg. So there was some. Oh yeah, and other Ottawa Senators also signed Claude Giroux to a 3-year, $19.5 million deal. That's $6.5 a year. One of the best players that was on the market, and one of the better players that came from Philadelphia. I always liked Giroux, the way he played, his consistency, his ability to play the full 200-foot game. So good signings by Ottawa. Good moves by Ottawa. You know, getting Talbot. Hopefully he's able to have a resurgence, and Giroux is huge. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they signed a few of their players to like 8-year deals.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like they dished out like $160 million today, over 8 years through 3 players, and I guess they're just running with their team. They're like about it, right?
Playing the long game.
They're playing the long game, and it's like another big thing actually that you have to consider. Everyone should consider when these players sign with Tampa and these Florida has no state tax, so you get a lot more of that money.
Right.
Yeah, which is kind of unfair. And speaking of Florida teams, the Stahl brothers, Mark Stahl and Eric Stahl, both signed with the Florida Panthers. Mark Stahl, defenseman, 1-year, $750,000 deal. I think that's the league minimum. And they gave Eric Stahl, who's getting up there, a professional tryout deal. PTA, I think it's what it's called. Professional tryout agreement.
What does that mean?
He has to come work out with the team and see how see if
If he works well, then
if he works well, if he's conditioned still, because he's up there. If you remember correctly, Eric Stahl.
I remember.
Yeah, he played for the Hurricanes, right?
Yeah.
When we got beat in 2006.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Yeah. No, that was in 2006, bro, and it's 2022,
What
and
the hell?
he's still trying to give her. So good on him. I mean, it sucks that he's that dude that beat us, or part of the team that beat us. Oscar Lindholm signs a 2-year deal with the Sharks. Like I said, I can go through all these, but it's like whatever. Max Domi, a good Canadian boy, son of Ty Domi, that legendary short little fucker that would beat up anybody. The son of him, Max Domi, signs a 1-year, $3 million deal with the Chicago Blackhawks. Lightning, did their thing. Buzzer Brew. And so, I haven't gotten any news about Goudreau yet or anything like that. You know what would be so funny is if Goudreau tried to, is testing out the free agent market and he turned down the $10 million a year, 8-year deal from Calgary, and he doesn't get anything near that in the free agent market. Oh, that'd be hilarious. And then and then what? And then you go crawling back to Calgary, and then Calgary's like,
Please.
But Calgary's like, yo, we already spent the money though. Like,
we'll give you half.
Yeah, right. And another big name that I haven't seen anything yet is, maybe by the time you guys hear this, by the time this drops, it'll probably change. Nazem Kadri, Stanley Cup champion for the Colorado Avalanche. Darnell Nurse's victim. I mean, it was bad. It was a bad hit, and he got injured. But Kadri came back in the Stanley Cup Finals 2 weeks after he got surgery, Caleb.
Damn.
And scored a game-winning goal in overtime.
Ooh.
Yeah, and as a Stanley Cup champion. So those are the two big names left on the market as of right now. But as of when we drop this, there's a chance that one, if not both, are signed. Who knows where they will be signed to? I don't think Kadri. I don't know. It's hard to say if either of these players will move on from where they're at. I think that there's a better chance of Goudreau moving on from Calgary than there is Kadri moving on from Colorado. I think Kadri, it wouldn't be a bad idea re-signing with Colorado, but I mean these greedy people. You can't even call them greedy. They got to get what they're worth. But I mean, take a look at Evander Kane though. He could have got more elsewhere, but he understood that Toronto. Oh my God, how dare I say that?
Where are we?
Yeah, how dare I say that? No. We good?
We're good.
I just heard a sound, and I think that was just my dog. No, Evander Kane could have signed elsewhere for more money. I guarantee it. But he understood that the Oilers gave him another chance, right? After all this bullshit, bankruptcy, not paying a fucking casino in Vegas, allegedly, some shit that was being talked about him through an ex, all this drama and all this baggage. We saw through that. We signed him, so he gave it back to us, gave us a huge deal, a steal of a deal on his contract for 4 years. He's down for it. He's ready. He's like, this is it. He is in. So
and he gave her. He
overperformed.
Yeah, he was awesome. He worked well with the team, and we loved him.
And the city of Edmonton freaking loves him.
Yeah,
freaking loves him. And oh my God, I'm so glad that he's going to be back. He was on pace to be like a 45 goal player, right? And playing with McDavid, they had such good chemistry, and I think we all seen past the bullshit of all this baggage and whatnot. So, and he's a new father, and he's got 2 kids, so I'm sure he's moved beyond that. The only thing is there's arbitration going on with his contract with San Jose, with his former contract with San Jose, because I guess I talked about this months ago before we even signed him, about the bullshit going on with him in San Jose.
Right.
So if depending on how that gets resolved, may affect his contract with us. So
what? All of a sudden they want him back?
Yeah, exactly, something like that. But
That's such horse.
no, but here's the thing. Evander wants to be an Oiler, obviously.
Yeah.
He obviously does, right? So
Looks good in the colors.
he does, and he's really good in the colors too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to see how that is resolved and what comes of that. But as of right now, he's with us for 4 years, and I'm so excited. I can't be more stoked for the upcoming season. Moving on, though, before we get to Riverhawks, the Jays, Toronto Blue Jays, we won last night 4-3 against the Philadelphia Phillies. Play again tonight. But we fired Charlie Montoya, the manager of the Blue Jays here, because we were underperforming. Everyone expected us to be at the top of our division, but that's impossible. The freaking Yankees are like 62-29 or some shit. They're like,
can we go to a North Division?
yeah. Can we like get out of this? This is everyone knows in baseball the division that we're in is the best division in baseball.
Well, who has the most money in this division, Josh?
I wonder, right?
Yeah,
fucking
by
far the Yankees, and then not even just that. The Red Sox are good. The Tampa Bay Rays, they have shitty attendance, they have shitty money, but they have the analytic department to squeak out these games and have a good team. And then all of a sudden, Baltimore Orioles won like 9 in a row or some shit
out of nowhere.
So all 5 teams in this division, the Yankees are like in the stratosphere. Like I don't know if anyone's going to catch up. The other 4 teams are all within like 2 or 3 games of each other. So I don't even like it's going to be crazy this last little bit. But on the note of Montoya getting fired, we were at the time of his firing, we're 46-42, but we do have a playoff spot. We had lost 9 of our last 10 before winning yesterday. We hired him in 2018. He was the previous bench coach for the Tampa Bay Rays, ironically. In his first year as the manager of the Blue Jays in 2019, it was a rebuilding year. We finished 67-95. It was a shitty year. But in
95 teams in the MLB?
No. 6. That's a record. That's a record.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh my God. Oh. He's just the producer, folks. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But he does make me look good here.
I
try. The following year, though, when the COVID happened and all that shit, we were able to make the playoffs in that shortened season. And then the last year, when we went from Dunedin, Florida, to Buffalo, to Toronto, 3 different home stadiums, 3 different homes, unprecedented. In modern sports, we finished 91-71, and we missed the playoffs by 1 game, as we all know, right? But that was a crazy record, 91-71. That's usually good enough to get you in the playoffs. And the unfortunate thing, I really liked Montoya, but I listened to Ross Atkins' press conference, who is the GM of the Blue Jays, and the big takeaway for me was a philosophical change they wanted to make, because Montoya, I think, was perceived as somebody who could get all the young players to that next level, but not keep them at that level, or, hold them accountable at that level. So the new interim manager is our bench boss. What's his freaking name? I met him actually in Seattle after I got kicked out for yelling water. I met what the fuck's his name? Schneider.
Oh, Schneider, right?
Yeah, Schneider. I don't remember his first name.
Schneider.
Yeah, but John Schneider, I think. Hold on, let me look this up.
Bill Schneider.
No. Toronto Blue Jay. John Schneider. I'm like 90% sure, but I don't want to get this dude's name. John Schneider. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get his name mixed up because I met him at that bar. With that live music that I just stumbled in on in Seattle, and I met him. I told him, I'm like, thank you for everything you're doing. I met him and Pete Walker, our pitching coach, and it's ironic now he's Schneider's our interim manager. So it's cool. I met him in Seattle. He seems like a really, really cool dude, really, really knowledgeable. And he's been through the ranks. He's been in our organization, like from single A to double A to to the bigs.
Really?
Yeah. He's been with our team. He's been with our organization for 20 years, Caleb.
Wow, good
So
for him.
yeah, so he's been with all the kids and like all our young players going through since we brought him up. And so that's obviously a big reason why we went to him instead of looking at outside sources, because he's been with us for a long time. And yeah, he seems like a really knowledgeable dude. And the fact that he was next to Charlie all year long, I listened to his press conference. He said that it was like being a manager but not actually managing night in night out, because he was the bench boss, right? So he would just basically, if Charlie wanted something done, or he would do it, right? Do it all, right? And so he was right there. So I'm confident in his ability to hopefully get us in the playoffs, first of all, but also to get us performing at the potential that everyone thinks that we can perform at. Because right now, I mean, it's everyone knows and everyone's seen it. We're underachieving as a team, so we got to switch that up. We're going into the All-Star break, and speaking of which, All-Star break happens this upcoming weekend. We have a few All-Stars. Alek Manoah, our pitcher, one of our young pitchers. Oh, he's a stud. George Springer, Vladimir Guerrero, and Alejandro Kirk. Oh my God, we got four. We got four Blue Jays going to the All-Star game. That is sick. That is deadly. That is wicked deadly. And for a team that's like underperforming right now, having four All-Stars, oh, that's huge. That's huge. It's tremendous. There's
never been a better team.
There's never. Yeah, there you go. As my boy Donald would say. Before we let you go here, let me just pull up. There was so much shit going on today that I didn't even have a This Week in Sports History teed up. Oh, I do actually. This is good. This is real good. It's a TWIS. It almost dates back to like when we released the first video one, but who cares? So every July 1st until 2029, the New York Islanders have to pay Rick DiPietro, their former goalie, $1.5 million a year, even though he's retired and he doesn't play anymore.
Wait, so again, one more time.
Okay, so for every single year on July 1st,
yeah,
the New York Islanders have to pay Rick DiPietro $1.5 million until 2029.
What?
Yeah. But this is even crazier.
When did he retire?
Like 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a little while, 3 to 5 years ago. But because he signed a 10-year deal,
right? But
then I think he got injured or something, so they like just kind of prorated it. So it's not like against their salary cap,
right? But
they got to pay him that money, right?
But
but get this,
good for him.
On This Week in Sports History too, in TWIS. Another New York team. They just love spending money in New York. The New York Mets have to pay Bobby Bonilla $1.19 million a year until 2035. And this guy's been retired for, 10 years?
What? How long did they sign him for?
I don't know the details of that one. But it's fucking nuts, right?
Imagine
Holy
just
shit!
Being guaranteed a paycheck of that much.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's nuts. The rich get richer, right? Like,
yeah,
it's so ridiculous. But before I sign off here, is there dogs barking over there? Do I gotta go yell at a bitch here?
Slap a bitch around.
Yeah. That reminds me of that Bill Burr special we watched last night.
Oh, that was good.
That was good, eh?
Yeah.
If I have a recommendation, check out the Bill Burr new special, Live at Red Rocks on Netflix there. That's my favorite comedian. But yeah, the Edmonton Riverhawks. So we have a game tonight. Yesterday was Toonie Tuesday. We had $2 hot dogs, $2 pop.
Josh, is that every Tuesday?
No, it's not. I knew that question was coming.
Shoot.
Yeah. Okay, never mind about that. Today, well, even today, like by the time we drop this, it won't matter. But it's just ironic. I just want to bring it up because it's winning, and we have promotions every game, so there's always something going on. Oh, and if you're not doing anything during this month, come down to Remax Field. It's
beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's such a good time.
Beer, food, you know,
and good vibes with my shit, with my jams.
Good vibes, good music.
Yeah,
and it's just it's the best view in the city.
It is of the River Valley.
You're outside. If the game is great, watch the game. If it's not great, hang out with your buddies, chug some beer.
It's funny you say that. So I'm sure you've seen it on Facebook, Oilers Nation, that page, Oilers Nation.
Yeah.
I guess they got a podcast, right?
Yeah.
And it's like 4 guys or whatever or something. And they gave us a shout out on their last podcast,
nice.
the Riverhawks.
Nice.
We got to listen to it after this.
Right.
Or when we get a chance. It went on for like 15 minutes about their experience at Remax Field.
No way.
How much fun it was.
Right.
They weren't even paying attention to the game half the time.
Yeah.
They loved the vibe.
Yeah.
They loved the music. They loved...
No way.
They made a comment about my Hawks sound effect, right? They're like, they sound like a vulture was coming down on us or some shit. And oh my God, when Aaron told me that, our production guy, it warmed my heart to know that people are enjoying the production we're putting on, because I mean we try our best up there.
Yeah, so listen, folks, the people of Oilers Nation, that big podcast, they love it. If they love it, you'll love it. You got to come down.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. And just an example of our promotions today, Caleb, is Winning Wednesday. Get this. So we're guaranteeing a win. Okay, we're guaranteeing a win. Okay,
for the team,
for the Riverhawks.
Okay.
If we don't win, every fan gets a ticket for tomorrow.
No way. That's so dope.
That's crazy, eh?
That's
and then tomorrow, hopefully we could drop this by the time like tomorrow. We got to drop this like tonight, right?
I'll try my best.
Yeah. Because it takes a while to upload the video and shit, right? It takes a little bit longer. But tomorrow's Thirsty Thursday. For all you alcoholics out there, come down to the ballpark. We're gonna have drink specials. I think it's $5 draft. We're gonna have promos. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like a college vibe. I feel tomorrow, right? It's gonna be a fun, groovy time. It's called Thirsty Thursdays. That's tomorrow. And
if you're going out to a bar anyways, why not have a big ass live sports
event first?
Where the beer's the same price as the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Thirsty Thursdays.
That's right. So let's drop this tonight so we can promote this. Or else, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for watching. Thank you. I can say that now. Thank you for watching. That's crazy. Thank you for listening. And we are going to be set up in various locations until we get the studio set up. Our new studio set up. Just a hint. Oh, and also one thing I brought up last episode, and I can't really do it right now, but those keywords from the first 5 episodes.
You gotta go all the way back.
I've got to go all the way back
and listen to irrelevant news, sports news. Get real confused.
No, but see where it all started. You do those 5 words, we'll hook you up with.
It's usually right at the end of the episode, just so you know.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter now, right?
Yeah,
if you have that dedication to go look back, I think most of them are at the end of the episode. I think one of them might have been somewhere. I don't know. Who knows? I can't remember. It's been a year. It's been a freaking year that we've been doing this.
Should have time stamped it.
No. But yeah, thanks again. And until next time, and I have some ideas of where we're going to record next time. There's a couple options. Depending on who our guests are going to be coming up, we may or may not be back downtown. But until then, peace.